This video is all about my financial setup for my online coaching business to maximize profits. So we're gonna go over everything as far as financial tracking. What do you need to track? What do you not need to track? How do you actually set it up to maximize profit margins? How do you cut stupid expenses? And basically everything that you need to know to maximize profits and also have peace of mind around your finances. Because I've seen so many situations where people don't even know what their expenses are, what their income is. And obviously that creates a lot of chaos and also a lot of stress because you don't know what the financial situation looks like. So we're gonna go over how to do this. This will be highly applicable if you're an online coach under 100K a month. So anywhere from 0 to 100K a month, this will be the most applicable to you. So with that said, let's go ahead, let's dive in. So first things first. All right, let me go ahead and do this. So first things first, you need a business P&L. All right, so P&L is a profit and loss. So it looks something like this, where you basically have, month by month, here's the income, here's the expenses, and here's the net profit. All right, I also have profit margins here, so I can easily see what are the profit margins. So for example, this dummy data, we're at 87% profit margins on that month. All right, so you need something that looks like this. All right, so core things with this, we're gonna go over the most important things you need to do with this P&L. So first things first, don't outsource this. All right, reason being like it's so important you're hyper aware of what the money flow, the cash flow in your business looks like. All right, you need to be hyper aware of this because at the end of the day, you're running a business because you want take-home profit. All right. If you're running an online coaching business is not a business you're typically going to exit or scale to 10 figures and have this 10x exit. No, you're usually just going to be having a cash flow business for vast majority of situations. You want to maximize cash flow. So with that said, you need to be hyper aware of the cash flow situation. You should not be outsourcing this, or it's just like tracking calories. Or for those of you like fitness coaches out there, you know how important this is. Like tracking something just gives you hyper awareness over it. And when you have awareness over it, you just tend to improve it naturally. All right. So crucial. All right. So with this, P&L like this, allows us to see a lot of different things. So first off, we can see obviously the income coming in. Very important. We know that. All right, so this is very important in case you have failed payments or defaulted payments or whatever it is. You can see, hey, did a client pay me or not? All right, expenses as well. All right, I can clearly see if there's stupid expenses. All right, the other thing I set up with this is I actually have this CAC tracker. CAC stands for client acquisition cost, by the way. So this is basically how much it costs to acquire a client. So for example, let's say we're running ads, we have a setter. If it's costing us $466 to acquire a client, and let's say one client is worth $5K to us, this is a no-brainer trade. We're basically making 10 to 1. All right, we put $1 in, making $10 back. So if I see this, I really just want to jam as much money into this machine as possible. All right, I want to jam more and more money into ads, get more setters, do whatever I need to do to just pump out more volume because this is extremely, extremely profitable right now. All right. Other thing I have here is pacing. All right, pacing metrics. We have revenue pacing, we have profit pacing. So this is a little bit skewed because obviously it's June 5th time of this recording. And so this tracks basically day of the month. So it's tracking as if it's June 5th. And so let's say our target is 30K. That's how much revenue we want to make. Let's say our profit target is 25K. Obviously with these current metrics we have we're currently pacing for 93K a month, which is pretty cool. It's not too bad. Profit pacing, we're currently pacing for 81K profit month. Whereas this tells us basically if we're on track, we're off track for our goals. All right, so hyper important again. So I can see if we're having a fast start to the month, or having a slow start, if we need to ramp things up, if we just need to do more lead gen activity. I can see everything going on. I see if I had to run a special spear campaign to increase revenue. All right, I can see this on a daily basis. All right, how much easier do you think it is to hit your goals when you're just hyper aware of it? All right, besides just ignoring it and then looking at the 30th of the month, oh, well, we didn't hit our goals. I wonder what happened. This makes you hyper aware of exactly what's going on in the money department. So that's a P&L. That's what you need. That's what it looks like. Second thing right here, this is basically how I set up my coaching business. All right, this is not legal advice. Please speak with a CPA, all right, someone who knows a lot more than me if you're setting this up. So I have my business set up as an S corporation. So I don't know all the legal jargon, what exactly that means. What I do know is it saves me money on taxes. All right. So from what I know, again, don't believe this to be the gospel. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but from what I've heard, I believe it's around 100K a year profit is when it makes sense to start looking at an S corp or anything over 100K or 100K a year profit. 100K a year profit. So that's when you typically can start to save money. Again, please talk to a CPA. Don't just believe me. This is just what I'm doing, document like what we do in our businesses. Basically, how I've set it up with this S corp. I have payroll run on the first of the month that pays me everything I need for living expenses, a little bit more. So this is like a reasonable salary. Again, it's okay if you don't know what that means. And then I basically estimate next month's expenses. So I'll see, okay, I'm going to be allocating this much to ads. I have to pay my team this much. I have this much in software, and I'll leave that in the business bank account. All right. And then everything else, I'm going to pay out through distributions. All right. Everything else. All right. Again, this is a cash flow business. So I want to take out as much money as possible. I don't want to leave money in the business. All right. I want to pay myself as much as humanly possible. So that's what we do. Now, obviously, if I'm planning to invest in something else, like plan to invest in some sort of mentorship, mastermind program, whatever it is, some education to help scale the business, I'm leaving that in there as well. And that's actually one of the first things I look at in terms of investments. I'll go over that in a moment. But basically, this is the other thing you want to definitely look at is being an S corp. Again, if you're making over 100K profit on the year, you can start to look into this. Definitely over 200K a year in profit. Like that will definitely be valuable to you. You're going to save money on taxes. Last big thing here is personal cash flow tracker. So please start tracking your personal finances as well, because like you probably heard this quote, but most business problems are personal problems. So I know a ton of people in the space. You'll see a lot of these like people out there who make their first 10 grand a month or 20K a month, and all of a sudden they buy like some stupid Lambo or a Rolex. No offense if you like that stuff, like that's completely cool. I respect it. I know there's car guys out there who love cars and stuff or love watches. Completely cool. All right, what I'm saying here is like you have to be smart with your finance, especially if you're younger. All right, this applies to all ages, but if you're in your 20s or early 30s, like I'm of the opinion I want to stack as many assets as humanly possible. All right. So that's stocks. All right, that's Bitcoin. All right, that's investing more in the business to grow my business. All right, that's what I do personally. So again, just documenting what I've done. I stayed lean as far as living expenses go. We did move into the beautiful house a year ago, but again, it was not crazy for us. Like we're not living in this crazy $10 million mansion. This is very reasonable for how much money I can make. Like I could definitely have a much bigger and crazier house, but I didn't because this is reasonable. This is what we need for starting our family here. Like it's what we need. All right, it's more than enough. And also personally, I don't splurge on things. I don't spend money on almost anything, to be honest. Like I'm kind of weird like that. The things I do value, I value traveling, I value experiences, eating out. Those are probably my top things right there. So eating out, experiences, and traveling, that's the stuff where I love spending money on. Like it's my favorite thing in the world. So that's where I would allocate my extra funds. Like if I'm splurging on something, it's going to be that. It's going to be traveling, buying a beautiful Airbnb for the family, doing something cool like that. That's where I allocate my funds. Everything else, I don't care about. I don't care about Gucci or the watches or the Lambo. Like I don't care. There's no value to me like at this current point in time. So that's what I do. I stay lean, super lean expenses, allocate funds where I value, and I invest everything else. All right, everything else. So when I'm looking at investments, because I obviously have like a lot of excess cash flow here, my living expenses they're not crazy. So I'm always looking at the business first. All right, the business can be the highest ROI investment I can make. And so, I'm thinking like, okay, what's like, first thing I'll ask myself for this is like, whoops, I got to fix this so I can type here. First thing I ask myself is, what is the constraint of the business right now? All right, so examples here. Most people watching this, the constraint is going to be like lead gen. Like that's the most common. Could also be, fulfillment, availability. Maybe you need to hire an assistant coach. Maybe you need to restructure the model of your coaching program so it's more of a group model. All right, that could be another one. It could be sales process. It could be you absolutely suck at sales. Like you're getting a bunch of calls booked. You're getting 30, 50, 100 calls booked a month, but your close rate's like 5%. It's like 10%, super low. All right, that could be another constraint in the business. All right, so I'm always identifying, hey, what's the constraint? And then if I know, okay, let's say like lead gen, for example, is a constraint, I would look for, hey, who can actually help me fix this problem? All right, usually it's just a lot faster, easier, and money efficient if I can just pay someone who's already fixed a problem, and I'll just, hey, like let me buy some consulting, let me buy whatever course this guy has who's really good at the thing. And that's what I do. I'll invest there first because it's the highest ROI thing. If I find a solution for lead gen, for example, If you were to find a solution for lead gen, if you're booking 0 calls a month right now, or 5 calls a month, you go to 50 calls a month, that's literally like 10x and 20x in business, like just that. All right. You can make literally an extra 30 to 50K per month if you fix that one problem. All right. And most people's solutions are not even 30 to 50K a month. So it's a massive ROI. It's insane. But basically, I'll look there first. If there's nothing else I can invest there, I'll put the rest into stocks. I really just buy mutual funds, index funds, and then I'll throw some into Bitcoin as well. So that's what I do. That is how I set up, my finances to maximize profits. So overall, you need a P&L tracker. Make sure you're doing this. Do it yourself. Track at least like once per week because you need to be hyper aware of this stuff. Stay lean. All right, stay lean lifestyle, expenses wise. Probably set up as an S corp, but look into it. And then obviously invest back into the business because it's the highest ROI thing you can do. So hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one. If you are an online coach and you want one-on-one help to actually scale your coaching business, I will license out my lead gen sales systems into your business so you can own them forever. Go ahead and click the link below if you're interested in that. If you want to scale as fast as possible, click that link, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.